Hi, my name's Amanda Herman, and this is going to be my sheep kidney dissection. So, to start, we got the renal cortex right here. That's going to be the outer portion right there. And then you have the renal medulla. That's going to be the inner portion right there. And then you have the renal pyramids, which are going to be like right here. And then you have renal columns, which are in between these white portions right there. So 1, 2. And then you have the renal sinus, which is going to be this portion right here. And inside the renal sinus is going to be, the renal ileum, I believe is how you pronounce it. So it's going to be in this portion right here. And then you're going to have the minor callius, yep. And then into that is going to be the major callius right there, that portion right there, white port. And then let me see what else we need. And then the renal pelvis, which is going to be right here. This portion is going to be the renal pelvis. And then this is going to be the superior portion of the ureter. Okay, so going into what they are. So the renal cortex, starting with that, it's the outer portion of the kidney between the renal capsule and the renal medulla. The renal cortex is the part of the kidney where like ultrafiltration occurs. And then going into the renal medulla, it's the inner part of the kidney. It consists of like medullary collecting ducts, loops of Neely, and vasa recta. It regulates the urine concentration. The renal pyramid is any of the triangular sections of tissue that constitute the medulla or inner substance of the kidney, so those white parts. The urine flows to the bladder by the way of the renal pelvis and the ducts known as the ureter. The renal columns is the medullary extension of the renal cortex in between the renal pyramids. Each column consists of lines of blood vessels and urinary tubes and like fibrous materials. The renal sinus is the fatty compartment located within the midal aspect of the kidney. It's going to contain the renal ileum. I think that's how you say it. And then the renal ileum, it's the point of entry and exit of the renal arteries and veins, the lymphatic vessels, nerves, and the enlarged upper extension of the ureters. And then the minor calyces, I think I'm going to mess it up, but sorry if I say or pronounce it wrong. So the minor calyx receives the urine from the papillary ducts of one of the renal pyramids and delivers that urine to the major calyx. And then the major calyx is where the urine drains into the large cavity called the renal pelvis, and then through the ureter to the urinary bladder. The renal pelvis, it's surrounded by a thin layer of like smooth muscle that forms around the renal calycis and the papillole connecting to the ureter. The renal pelvis contracts and it moves the urine out of the kidney into the ureters. And then the superior portion of the ureter, it's just that extends from the renal pelvis to the upper border of the sacrum.